Hi guys, I told you that I would be trying to make a full moon and new moon kind of astrological energy video so that you would have a better understanding of some of the energy working at the time that you may decide to do some important spell work. And I got such a positive feedback that I decided to try to do this on a regular basis. And as I was going over the energy of the new full moon coming up on May 3rd, in Central Standard Time, it will be May 3rd at 10:43 p.m. Central Standard Time. The full moon will be in Scorpio at 13 degrees. But there were a few challenges that you need to be aware of so that maybe you could, if you know what's working that day, then any of the challenges in the energy that day, there are strategies that you can put in place to overcome some of those challenges. I'll get to that part at the end of this, but this is why I'm putting it up so early, so that you have plenty of time to write out your spell work ahead of time so that you won't have that challenge that's coming up when I get to it. Scorpio is a very deep and intense sign. It's known to be the most intense of all of the signs. And a full moon is also very intense energy as well. So the two together become very intense and very emotional. Scorpio rules the death and rebirth. Its ruling planet is Pluto, and Pluto has been in play with Uranus for quite some time in a tight square. And we just came off of the eclipse season of Ostara, and around Easter time we had the lunar eclipse and blood moon, and those eclipses are about letting go and change. And the solar eclipse is more intense letting go and breaking off, whereas the lunar eclipse is sort of like the emotional release of that letting go. And it's a gentler letting go, but it's more like after the abrupt changes from the solar eclipse, it's sort of like the emotional acceptance and letting go of that. And then we came into a new moon in Mars. Mars in Aries. It was ruled by Mars. They didn't have any challenges, and it's a cardinal sign, and it's a new fresh path, and the path would become clear as to which way and direction that you were to go. So with this full moon in Scorpio, it is kind of helping the rebirthing has starting to become full circle. With every birth and rebirth, there's always some pain, there's always some struggle, and it has been clear with the people I'm in contact with on a regular basis that there's been a lot of pain, a lot of letting go, a lot of unexpected letting go, through death, through illness, through all. These are the energies of the time right now, and it's part of the situation. The eclipses were involving it involved Libra at one point, and it involved, that's the house of relationships and balance. And so when those kind of areas get hit, it kind of rocks our world. And like I said, it's kind of a rocky ride, but if you trust in the process and you trust and just let it flow, it is there to create the new life that you've more than likely been asking for in some way, shape, or form. But sometimes it doesn't always get delivered to us quite the way we had anticipated it being delivered to us. So this full moon is kind of cementing in that rebirth. The Pluto-Uranus square was still in play and continuing to shake things up for us. And Pluto, who rules rebirth and is the ruler of Scorpio, Pluto will be trining the Sun. And both the Sun and Pluto are planted in very firmly into earth grounding signs. Pluto is in Capricorn, a sign of hard work, and so the transformation is going to be, and necessarily so, hard work. And Taurus is where the Sun is, and it is a material security and beauty. It's the things that it's your home, it's your possessions, it's your things that make you feel grounded. It's beautiful things. It's ruled by Venus in that sense. The Sun is your will and your ego, so it is a personal rebirthing. So Pluto is hitting our Sun, and it is going to be very much about the self involved in this energy. So Pluto is rebirthing you on a physical and a material security plane, basically. Uranus is, who is also involved in this square with each other, with the Pluto-Uranus square. Uranus is sudden, it shakes things up. It is sudden change. It is, where it hits you out of nowhere and you don't even know how it happened. You were completely unprepared for it. It's the things that you weren't really looking at or paying attention to. But it's trining Jupiter, and it is expanding this change. We also have Neptune and the Moon trining each other. So Neptune is a very nebulous, it's the unseen, it's the spiritual. It can also be the house of death, because it is the final cycle of the astrological plane. It is Pisces ruler, and it is sitting in the house of Pisces, so it is very comfortable where it is. And it is trining the Moon, which is our emotional selves. And so with the two energies, things can be rather nebulous and unclear for a lot of the people out there who are especially more matter-of-fact, more grounded people. They don't always do well with the Neptune energy. But if you understand that it is, Neptune is trying to hand you the unseen, the spiritual. And when it's coupled with a moon in your emotional state, it can be extremely emotional. But you can use that emotion that it brings up, and you can use the energy tide of Neptune for the connection to the spiritual world, so that you can pour all of that into your spell work and make it so much stronger and make a more in-depth connection to the other world. It'll be coming right after Beltane, where we have the very thinning of the veils again. It is the opposite to Samhain, but it is the same kind of situation. Whereas it is in the springtime in our part of the hemisphere in the United States, it is birth, spring, new life, regeneration, all of these things. It is also the thinning of the veils, to where it is a very potent magical time. So it will be a very potent time to do some very significant spell work for yourself. Oftentimes the spell work done at Beltane tends to be magic that takes a full 9 months, a cycle of pregnancy, to birth itself. So, but in the entire 9-month period of time, it is preparing you for the end goal of your spell work. So keep that in mind too. If to do a long range goal spell work would be very appropriate at this time and very potent. And you may be so surprised at some of the things that you can manifest for yourself in that way. And you would be seeing the signs of that spell work coming to complete fruition in February of 2016. So keep that in mind, that this is that kind of potent energy tide, that you can use this energy to ride for the rest of the entire year and to give you a great start for the new year of 2016. But here's some of the, although Neptune and the moon can be a little challenging, you can use that to work to your advantage. Mercury is opposing Saturn. And Mercury is a very quick-moving planet, but it rules communication. Saturn is a very slow, droning planet that wants hard work and wants everything to slow down and wants you to focus and put your attention. So their energies conflict a bit, and they are actually in a full opposition. And this is going to give trouble and challenges to communication. That's why if you write out your spell work and do your thought processes long before the 3rd, you'll be fine. Mercury is a very quick-moving energy, so it will be a very short-lived opposition. So it will move past itself very quickly, and you'll be able to be fine that way. But to overcome that kind of energy challenge, all you have to do is prepare ahead of time. Sort of what Saturn wants you to do. Your hard work. Do it beforehand. And if it's clearly written down, you'll have no problem clearly communicating to the universe what your intent and desire is in the effect of the spell and your workings that you want to do. Basically, that is the main energies of the day, and I hope this kind of helps you decide what kind of work that you're going to do. Pour some really good thought and meditation into it, because this could really have such great manifestation effects to what's going to be coming to you for, like I said, for the next 9 to 10 months. It is a great energy tide. It only comes around twice a year that we have the thinning of the veils like this, to where we have such open pathways to really throw out our intentions more strongly. And working this kind of energy after these eclipses and all of the way these energies have been flowing, it can really set your path for you. And I know a lot of people out there are facing a lot of challenges right now, whether it be work related, whether it be relationship related, and whether it be losing a very important relationship in their life due to the passing, or whether it be 1,000 other different challenges. Everyone is unique. Their astrological charts are unique. Their lives are unique. But there's been quite a bit of it, and it shows itself ever so often, and these have been such challenging times that I thought maybe this would help y'all get your spell works in order and really throw this energy in. Remember that right after the third day of the full moon, it will be in its full waning cycle. So you can do some work before full moon and it will bring it to fruition more solidly, or you can wait till after the direct full moon and you can push it past where you're actually into a letting go process of the things that don't serve you, so that you can have that clear path, you can remove obstacles, that kind of thing. Just remember that you don't have to do the work actually on the day of the full moon. You can, but you can do it before the full moon to get one effect. You can do it after the full moon to get another effect. But remember that this Beltane energy is going to be open right now. The veils are going to be thin throughout this period of time. The full moon generally represents that thinning of the veils. And in days gone by, it was not celebrated on a particular day. It was celebrated on the full moon or the new moon closest to the event, because that would have been when the energy tides would have been more open to it. So just some things for y'all to think about when y'all are getting ready for Beltane, when you're getting ready for your spell work, and I hope this helps. Thanks, and y'all have a wonderful day. Blessed be.